Hello guys, today won't be about warrior cats actually. Today we will be talking about a 2 hours 30 minutes and 20 seconds long live stream that the Q/WCLT devs has hosted on August 31st.
Next I'll show you the Q&A and the questions I think were most required.
Like its pelt, its furs, its scars, body traits, right? As a broad category. And then accessories, which kind of denote things like what would be a kitty pet collar. What we want to do is we want to start with a lot of stuff that focuses on that kind of core experience of he's smiling. Sorry. We want to start with that core kind of like pelt markings kind of area, and we want to focus on doing a lot of work on that end. So things like a kitty pet collar, absolutely, right? That fits right into the lore 100%. And we're going to try and kind of keep it focused around that element for a good while, like a good long while. And kind of taking things very, very slow from there on the actual accessories front. I think Mellow Bear's here. Hello.
Hi, Mellow Bear.
Smiling for Mellow Bear. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. They will absolutely be around. We're just focusing on the markings and the furs and all that kind of core stuff with this cat. Going that kind of route. We think people think those are more important. Next is...
We'll do the server size one.
Here, you want to read out the question?
Azatech. Yeah, so Azatech asks... what's the player count in WCLT? I assume they're talking about server count, like how many players in a server.
Yeah.
We aim
about this. We'll be going through notepad questions, right?
It's just going to be a question of whether or not that's sort of feasible with our goal of making the game run well. If we find that we can push it, then maybe that's something we consider. If we can't, then we're going to prioritize making the game be smooth for people. So that's sort of the consideration, but at least as much as WCUE.
Sorry, that was mildly scuffed. Once again, guys, we're going through notepad questions right now. And then we're going to start an open-ended question to the chats, so we're trying to get there quickly. I actually answer this one really quick. We'll talk about this. Will Be Way asks, will there be Skyplan? And our current answer to that question is, there will be the future, which you will have to wait for. Yes. Now we get to wait and see people being like, oh, very annoyed.
You want to do the?
But yeah, some things stay in our back pocket to make sure, you know, some stuff we want to have fun with. So yeah, I'm going down this list, by the way, and fixing your format. Thank you for formatting these, by the way. So Sleepy asked, will there be a way to? No, Sleepy asked something. It blew up. Come back.
They asked, will there be a way to find herbs easier outside of just memorizing the locations, such as scenting them?
Yep. There we go. Health.
There you go.
That was a really well thought out answer.
You
Yes.
should just do that for each question. Yep.
So I think one thing to note here with kind of the game design element of this, especially with like things that are predictable in their location. So herbs are a bit of an example of this. Arguably, kind of prey. If you guys have used the prey system in WCV, which is how would you guys word? If you have one word to start WCV, right?
Erratic.
Bad. So we're like things we want that to be a lot better, and part of that is like there's water there. Don't worry about that. Water is something we'll talk about. But yeah, things like herbs and things like rain, things like things that we don't want. We want there to be a lot better ways to find them. I'm not actually like I think the biggest part is going to be a lot of dynamic changes in that. We definitely want to have a much better sending system, and we absolutely don't really want to have them kind of in exactly preset locations. That's kind of stuff with the medicine cat and stuff with Preyson that we're probably going to visit in larger scale content updates down the line. I think it's kind of our current thinking. Keep in mind this stuff could change. And that's mostly there so we can actually give some of these larger features a lot more consideration than we did in the past. We want the prey and all these kind of interactions to feel like really good when they come out. So yeah, we don't want to just have memorization. And yeah, for water, this game is both in rig structure.
Being asked a lot is about the Game Passes transferring.
Yep.
This has been answered. If you scroll up in dev announcements, I've made a frequently asked questions
But we'll answer it here.
for Lake Territory. We can also answer here. If Pav, you want to give a quick answer for it.
Quick fire answer for this is the goal is yes. But the way that we're going to be handling transferring is going to be a bit dependent on what the game can actually handle. So let me kind of clarify what that means. We want to try and transfer everything that feels feasible to transfer. But this game is both in rig structure and a lot of other elements, especially in the way that the actual rig works. It works very differently from Ultimate Edition. Ultimate Edition is very limited in some of the ways that it works. So what that might look like to us is I think at the bare level, we might, for example, do something as simple as Game Passes award credits, which you could then use on items in our game here, which, like they aren't one-to-one transfers necessarily, because some things are in packs, some things are not. But that would be the baseline idea. And of course, we're going to try and see where we're going to move over stuff, but a good one for this is kind of the accessories side, like the non-markings, non-furs. Like a lot of this stuff, especially for a good amount of this game, we kind of want to be more careful with what we add in terms of accessories and stuff, really kind of stick to the Warriors theme for a good bit, which is kind of why like we might be going down a route where we want to allocate credits more. It also allows people to actually grab items specifically of what they want, because one of the other things we were discussing is kind of moving away from like the exact same Game Pass format we currently have, just to make sure it has a lot more flexibility, because I think people don't necessarily like having like 60 items put into like a very large bundle, and neither do we. So we're probably going to be going with a much like a rethought shop experience pretty much. So there's a lot that's going to be rethought with that, but I guess the baseline answer we could give is that we want to do transfers, but I would think of it more as we want to basically make sure people can get things that would be paid if they supported Ultimate Edition, is how we're kind of approaching that.
Next, we have a question for Z-Knight from Lady Noir.
Lady Noir said, will there be an updated Starpedia or rules guide? And will there be a lobby or strictly a trade area? For the Starpedia and rules guide, yeah, of course there's going to be an updated one. Definitely that's going to happen. For the trading area, we 100% intend to have a trade server in Lake, but it may be an update because on release, we want players to, play on the main map and really experience the game before we add in a trade server. So it may not be there immediately, but we fully intend to have it.
Hi. Wait, I gotta go back to a second real quick. Hold on.
I saw someone ask about like interactable emotes like in the map. I know we talked a little bit about that. Do we want to talk about that here?
Yeah, I just put it on. I clickety-clackety on screen.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we've talked about a couple times interactable emotes on the map. So if you were to crawl in like a space that was a little bit smaller, you would press, for example, like, I don't know, let's just say the keybind is F, just making it up here. And you would kind of go into this like locked state where it kind of puts you in like, I'm not going to say a cutscene because it wouldn't really be a cutscene, but more just like a forced trajectory that would like bring you through the path.
Yeah.
That's
the way that I've been conceptualizing it on my end has been that potentially we might not even want to have a keybind interaction at all, where if you're just trying to walk through an interactable path, you would naturally make that movement. But some other ones, like for example, cats do a lot of leaping. They're very agile, and that's something that's not represented in WCUE. So I do want to do a lot of playing around with, where we test about how cats can navigate terrain that you can't necessarily just walk or take a standard kind of jump or hop up. It's just one of those things that requires a ton of polish with regards to how it moves. So, but it's something that's absolutely on our mind. I expect there to be a lot of interactivity as the map goes on. It's kind of one of the things that comes with age, I think, with the game, especially when we get to that playable stage. So do we want to talk about this one? Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's talk.
All right. The question from Clover is WCUE getting updated after WCLT's release? So WCUE and WCLT, they're very different games, I would say, currently, at least internally, you could say. The core experience that we're going to be starting with, oh god, I keep walking too close to ShadowClan. Is like the core roleplay experience is like very much there though, but we think people will very much have a preference for one or the other, and we think we want to spend a lot of time and love with the community on WCLT in a few different stages of the game. We'll talk about, oh god, he's there. I apologize for my way of answering these questions. I keep interacting with things around the world, but I guess the answer is we're definitely going to be maintaining it. We want to stay up. I think that you guys may have already noticed that kind of update cadence has gone down a good bit with WCUE because we're working a lot on WCLT right now. I think that we will continue to absolutely maintain it at a bare minimum and try to make improvements to WCUE for as long as a sizable audience plays and supports it. But keep in mind, a lot of this is working with 2 projects right now for us. So we're trying to prioritize a lot of effort into getting WCLT ready as well. So it's something that we kind of change on an as-going basis. I just figured I'd be pretty transparent with you guys that are, at the very minimum, we do want to keep it maintained and running and all that good stuff. We've discussed...
But we fully intend that.
Okay.
Yeah, Dahlia asked if there's going to be Prey. Yeah, there is going to be Prey. Yeah, on release, we don't know, but as soon as we can. We want to make Prey be a fun feature to, like, hunt everything, and it's a really complex system, so it's hard to do, but we fully intend to have Prey.
Would be how we put it. So it doesn't go in, like, lackadaisically, I suppose.
When a kit runs is very clumsy, and it'll have, like, baby...
This kind of form, we want it to be ugly here. First one from Batsby. I put the timestamp on like a noob. Batsby asks, and this one's kind of for you, Bav, you can expand on it. Batsby asks, will kits have different animations from Apprentices Plus in WCLT?
Yeah, so definitely. Kits will have, like, their little bodies are built so differently. So they'll have, like, say, a clumsier walk or a clumsier run or something like that. So they'll have, like, baby versions of the adults. Like, something I'm not a fan of is, in WCUE, is how the tail goes up when you walk as a kit. It won't be, like, drastic differences like that, but it'll be more like when the warrior runs, it's, like, very stretched out and collective. When a kit runs, it's very clumsy and it doesn't really look quite right. So, yeah. And then the other question is from Pigeon. Will claws be colorable? I'd absolutely love to have this. Like, you can have dark claws or like fur colors on the claws, basically. So, yeah, I'd love to have that.
I typed it before we could. Whoops.
I think we're good for the chat Q&A.
All right.
Okay, guys, that's it for now. I'm very sorry, but I have other videos planned. And life things to do as well. See you all in the next one. Bye.